If the rules are so simple, why isn't everyone rich? A friend of mine mentioned she was looking to invest somewhere, just casually. Like that's a normal thing to have as a problem. I nodded, went home, checked my account, bought a water bottle with charms on it. Now I knew about index funds. I knew about compound interest. I knew about automating my savings. I could have taught a class on this stuff. I have genuinely considered teaching a class. And I still bought the water bottle. Here's what I figured out about that. Broke people aren't missing information. They're often the most informed people in the room. The person who knows every rule, every tip, every framework, and still ends up in the same place at the end of the month. The problem was never knowledge. There are 5 rules that were built to work against you. I want to go through all of them. But the 5th one is the reason your parents' advice is actually making you poorer today. Stay with me. But here's what nobody bothers to explain. These rules didn't come from wisdom. They came from damage. Someone lost money first, figured out where it went, and wrote it down. That's all a rule ever is, a lesson from someone who got hurt by something. You're playing the same game. The difference is, now you'll know what you're playing against. I know this because I've watched it happen, and honestly, I've been there myself, more than once. You're standing in a store. You didn't come in for this, you came in for something else entirely, but now you're holding a thing. And the thing feels important. It feels like it solves something. You can't name exactly what, but something about your life is definitely worse without it. So you buy it. And look, we're not here to judge. I bought a water bottle last week. It had charms on it. I don't want to talk about it. 2 weeks later, it's just a thing in your house that you own now forever. You roll your eyes at yourself and think, I have no self-control. Here's what actually happened. Before you walked into that store, someone spent an enormous amount of money figuring out exactly who you are, what you're anxious about, what makes you feel behind, what you'd pay to feel even slightly less behind. They did this very carefully. For about 45 minutes of your attention, you didn't have a hydration problem in 2019. Then a $45 tumbler with a handle and a straw and 3 colorways explained that actually you did. Clinically. Urgently. The tumbler even has a name, you know the one. I'm not going to say it. You already thought of it. That's the whole problem. You didn't have a front door anxiety problem until an app asked if you knew what was happening at your door right now, at 11 p.m. The problem didn't exist before the product. The product needed the problem to exist, so the problem was manufactured. Specifically for you. You are not a person with bad impulse control. You are a very precisely targeted individual. You don't have a spending problem. You have a targeting problem. The move? 48 hours. Before any non-essential purchase, wait 48 hours. If the problem that made you want the thing disappears, it was never your problem. It was their marketing. It almost always disappears because it was never real. And here's the thing. While you were standing in that store getting targeted, your paycheck was already being divided. Quietly, automatically, without you. Your paycheck lands on the 1st, and before you even touch it, taxes are already gone. That happened before it arrived, which is honestly kind of impressive. They got paid before you woke up. Wrong, but respect. Then rent auto-debits, car payment, insurance, 4 subscriptions auto-debit, a 5th subscription auto-debits. You forgot about the 5th one. It's been running for 14 months. It's $12.99. It might be a meditation app. You're not entirely sure. You're definitely not calmer. If anything, you're slightly more stressed now that you've remembered it exists. You will not cancel it today. We both know that. You'll cancel it in January. Anyways, what's left after all of that is supposed to be yours. Except by this point, there's almost nothing left. And the advice is, pay yourself first. Great advice. Completely correct. But let's sit with what that rule is actually saying. Every single entity in your financial life, your landlord, your bank, your car company, Netflix, built an automatic system to get paid before you could spend that money somewhere else. They didn't trust you to remember. They didn't send gentle reminders. They built infrastructure. And in that entire system of automatic extraction, you are the only one without an automatic payment. You are last in line to your own money. The direct debit was invented in 1964. Nobody asked if that was a good idea for the person being debited. It was a spectacular idea for everyone else. Pay yourself first isn't wisdom. It's building the same infrastructure everyone else already built, except this time for you. The move? Separate savings account, different bank, different app. Auto transfer the day your paycheck lands. Make yourself a creditor, then with an automatic payment, like everyone else already did. You've earned a spot at the front of the line. So you set up the auto transfer. You protected the paycheck. You felt good about it, which you should have because that was the right move. Then you got the raise, and you thought, okay, now we're getting somewhere. And the system recalibrated, silently. Before you'd even cash the first check, you got the raise. You felt genuinely good. You deserved it. And you went home that evening feeling like something had finally shifted. 6 months later, nothing had shifted. Same feeling, different number, same gap. And somewhere in the back of your head, very quietly, I just can't help myself. Here's what actually happened. The week after your raise, your landlord sent the renewal. Slightly higher. Market rate, they said. Very sorry about that. He was not sorry. He sent it from a template. There was a logo. The algorithm that follows you around noticed the change in your spending patterns and quietly recalibrated. Started showing you slightly different things. Things in your new bracket. Your friends, not maliciously, just naturally, started suggesting the slightly nicer place for dinner. Nobody announced any of this. Nobody asked your permission. Your lifestyle didn't grow. Your costs caught up. Before you made a single conscious decision, the world around your income adjusted to meet it. Automatically, silently, like it had been waiting. Lifestyle inflation isn't a character flaw, it's gravity, backed by a marketing budget. And it moves faster than the dopamine from your raise does. The recalibration happens before you check your account. That's not a coincidence. That's a feature. I know what you're thinking, but I deserve the slightly nicer dinner. I worked hard for this. Yeah, that's the gravity talking. It's very convincing. Let's keep going. The move. When the raise hits, move the difference between your old salary and your new one before it reaches your checking account. Your lifestyle doesn't notice because your account didn't change. The raise happened. It just happened somewhere the recalibration can't reach. So you protected the raise too. You were doing everything right. Really, genuinely everything right. Then you bought the house. You did the responsible thing. It stopped renting, built some equity, have something to show for it now. This was the move everyone told you to make. Then the roof needed replacing. Then the HVAC. Then there was something in the basement making a sound. You paid someone $200 to tell you it was fine. He said it with the confidence of someone who absolutely does not live there. It is not fully fine. You just live with it now. You've named it. Gerald. His name is Gerald. Gerald is fine. Gerald has been fine for 8 months. We don't talk about Gerald. The house isn't $400,000. The car isn't $30,000. Every major purchase comes with a tail. A long, quiet, expensive tail that was never in the headline price. Insurance, maintenance, registration, depreciation that starts the second you leave the lot. The thing in the basement. Nobody mentions the tail when they're selling you the thing. The salesperson was very warm, very helpful, did not mention the tail, and offered you a coffee. You accepted. That's on you. Own less isn't minimalism. It's refusing to buy recurring costs dressed up as one-time purchases. The house also needs gutters. It always needs gutters. The move. Before any major purchase, write out the 5-year total cost of ownership. Not the sticker price, the tail. Everything that comes after the handshake. If you can afford the tail, buy it. But even if you manage every tail on every purchase, you're still trying to fit your life into a box that was built for your parents. And that box has a name. Someone definitely told you about 50-30-20. 50% needs, 30% wants, 20% savings. You tried it. The math didn't close. You sat there staring at the spreadsheet thinking, I can't even follow a simple framework. What is wrong with me? Nothing is wrong with you. Well, some things, but actually, let's not open that right now. The point is, not this. The framework was built in a different economy. In 1980, housing took about 30% of income. The 50 was reachable. The math worked. People ran the numbers, nodded, moved on. It made sense. Today, housing alone runs 38, 40, sometimes 50% in major cities. Before the lights are on, before groceries, before the car that also has a tail. You were handed a map drawn in 1980 for a city that no longer exists, and then quietly blamed yourself for getting lost. The map is wrong, not you. The move. Flip it. Don't start from income down. Start from savings up. Decide the minimum you will save this month. Auto transfer it first, pay fixed costs second. What's left is your real number. Here's what I actually want to say. The system didn't just take your money. It gave you a story that made you blame yourself for losing it. Bad with money, no discipline, can't follow simple rules. That story is worth more to the system than any single purchase you've ever made. Because a person who thinks the problem is their own character doesn't go looking for the real problem. They just try harder. Feel worse. Try harder again. Same result. Different January. My friend who was looking to invest somewhere, she's not smarter than you. She's not more disciplined. She's just getting hit by fewer of these at the same time. That's the whole difference. That's it. The rules aren't punishment for being weak. They're the only moves available once you know what you're playing against. Same as it ever was. Except now you know, the game started without you.